Good day, ma'am. Good day, classmates. We are the group 3 and we are here to report about the unemployment. Unemployment is a term referring to individuals who are employable and seeking a job but are unable to find a job. Furthermore, it is those people in the workforce or pool of people who are available for work that does not have an appropriate job. According to OECD, or the Organization for Economic Cooperation and Development, the unemployed are people of working age who are without work, are available for work, and have taken specific steps to find work. This is usually measured by what we call unemployment rate, which is dividing the number of unemployed people by the total number of people in the workforce. Unemployment serves as one of the indicators of an economic status. The term unemployed can be tricky and often confusing, but it certainly includes people who are waiting to return the job after being discharged. However, it does not anymore encompass individuals who have stopped looking for a job in the past few weeks due to the various reasons. Even people who are not actively seeking a job anywhere but want to find one are not considered unemployed. The too many details and exclusions mentioned above make a lot of people believe that unemployment is vague and that the rate does not fully represent the actual number of people who are unemployed. The unemployment rate in the Philippines is about twice the rate of other selected countries in the region. While Philippine unemployment began to decline in the late 1980s, the recession in the early 1990s contributed to a jump in the employment rate.
Unemployment in the Philippines. First, COVID-19 causes exponential unemployment increase. The coronavirus outbreak caused the unemployment rate to spike to 7.7% in April 2020, the highest unemployment rate since the earliest comparable data in 2005, based on the preliminary results of the Philippine Statistic Authority or PSA. The stay-at-home orders of or levels community quarantine imposed measures to contain the virus was the most apparent unemployment factor. Next, overpopulation. The Philippines' high population rate over 1.7% on average over the past few years, consistently the higher than the world's population growth rate of 1.2% average. The high population growth rate leaving these graduates unemployed. Next, country's education systems continues to procedure college graduates whose skills don't necessarily fit with its demand in the job market. When Filipino nurses were demand abroad in the earlier part of the new millennium, more schools have mushrooms to accommodate growing demand for nursing education. This effectively left our medical fields. As a result, many nursing graduates failed to land their dreams jobs as demands for such skills began to dry. Next is lack of quality graduates. Just because universities in the Philippines produce thousands of graduates each year means they are ready to take available jobs, which is understandable that they have many experience. Many of such as graduates don't quality on basic requirements posted job vacancies according to the Professional Regulations Commissions. Next is outdated school curriculum. Emerging technologies have created new set of careers from artificial intelligence to non-technology. However, the Philippines education system is slow to adapt and continue including subjects that are close being obsolete, depriving students to be at part with the industry trends.
Another cause of unemployment in our country is because we lack skills and experience. Jobless workers or fresh graduates think that the only solution to find work is on what skills they have. Fresh graduates think that it is unrelated, while there are also workers that requires great amount of experience. Lack of understanding about job application is also a cause of unemployment. Nowadays, filing a job application is through online such as email. In reality, the generation before us has a hard time catching up with the trend. That makes them confused on how to fill up a form online. There are instances where discrimination has to do with unemployment. When applying for a job, there are requirements such as height and age. Companies rather choose these standards over experience and skills. Poverty is also an issue here in the Philippines. Poverty can contribute to unemployment since parents can't afford to send them to school. Nowadays, having an educational background is necessary because it helps you have an advantage in looking for work. As poverty increases, population also increases. The cycle continues and most companies then cannot cater everyone, which can also lead to unemployment.
We'll see now what are the common impacts of unemployment that can be applied in the Philippines. Loss of income. Unemployment usually leads to a loss of income. This is pretty obvious since if one does not work, he would naturally not be able to get any income. Another is negative multiplier effects. Unemployment occurs when certain factories or companies close down, and this is especially serious when there is a financial crisis where recession and unemployment is rampant. There is also loss of national output. Unemployment causes the scarce resource labor to be underemployed since part of the workforce is not being used, hence the production is not at its maximum and thus underemployment of resources would lead to a loss in potential national output. And there is fiscal costs. One way government gets revenue is through tax revenue. This simply involves taxing the income of people based on their income. When there is unemployment, the government would collect less tax revenue as a result since the incomes of people are lower. Lastly, social costs. An increase in unemployment leads to social deprivation. Social issues such as increased crime rates and lower life expectancy are all related to unemployment. Look at some common impacts of unemployment. Let's see what's applicable to the Philippines. Social costs. Social costs, especially high income inequality, is a result of unemployment in the Philippines. Philippines has a Gini coefficient of 43.0 in 2009, which shows that its income inequality is rather high since the closer the Gini coefficient is to 1, the greater the income inequality. It has also shown the crime rates in the Philippines is related to unemployment. Moreover, high poverty rates and hunger rates may be caused by unemployment too. Philippines is generally more socially affected by unemployment and less economically affected. Philippines' economy is doing well and with high GDP. It is presumed to be one of the top economies in the world by 2030. Hence, social impacts are generally more applicable to the Philippines, but not so much on the economic cost of unemployment.
The government is addressing this challenge of unemployment through investments in education and health, such as a conditional cash transfer program and senior high school reforms. The DSWD, meanwhile, is moving to support vocational training for low-income families, announcing its Sustainable Livelihood Program, which provides vocational training, even if they are not 4-piece beneficiaries. They also equip students with industry-relevant competencies and skills, in addition to bolstering skills training for farm workers affected by adverse weather conditions, enabling a smoother transition to more stable work. While the DOLE is decisively helping address the problem by promoting and implementing job creation facilitation programs, such as the delivery of correct, relevant, and updated labor market information. Through the Special Program for the Employment of Students, or the SPAS, the DOLE provides short-term employment to poor but deserving students and out-of-school youth, with a budget of 140 million for 2012. A total of 136,529 students and OSY have benefited from the SPAS as of October 31. Promoting Youth Employment in the Philippines Policy and Action Project by a national organization known as ILO facilitate the creation of employment opportunities for young women and men in the Philippines through a four-pronged strategy. The international organizations also helped reducing the unemployment here in the Philippines by investing more on local businesses to provide work for Filipinos.